Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, Integrating Electronics Design into the Digital Thread. My name is Carolina Hägg, and I will be your host on today's event, and presenting today will be Jonas Fransson, Head of Customer Success here at PDSVISION.
Thank you, Carolina. I hope you will be able to see my screen. So I can just start by introducing myself, maybe. So my name is Jonas Fransson. I'm the customer success manager or head of customer success management at PDSVISION, and I've been around for approximately 10 years and located in Gothenburg. So I would say that the best thing about my current position, the current role, is that I'm actually getting paid to help you guys or our customers to improve and ensure that you become successful within your field or whatever you are doing. So that is really cool. And as stated in the picture, I believe success is simple. It's just about doing what's right in the right way at the right time. In this webinar, we'll talk about ECAD and how to integrate that with the digital thread or having ECAD as a part of the digital transformation, basically. So now we believe that it's the right time to improve how we work with ECAD. This is the agenda for today. So we're going to start with some general trends and challenges that we will see, both on a general term, but also on ECAD specific level. Then I'm going to talk more specifically how to connect the hardware design with the enterprise, and specifically with PLM. And also describe what a digital thread is. We're going to see the business value of doing this kind of change, and I will also try to describe for you how you could get started with this transformation. So when we speak with our customers, these challenges is often mentioned. So digital transformation is by far the most relevant influence that we see, and we also believe that no one will be able to escape this, really, no matter size of the company or industry. We can also see that the regulatory pressure increases, and you need to have better control and know more about your product and the details of your product. So, for example, what kind of substance that is in all your components and so on. Digital thread is another topic. It's a little bit related to digital transformation, but essentially it's about having a strategy for how your data should flow in your organization and in your full ecosystem, basically. And new business models is also a common challenge that many are facing, looking into become a more service-oriented provider of a product. So service, selling clean air instead of selling an equipment for generating that. If we specifically take a look at what kind of drivers we have for digital transformation, PTC quite recently did a survey together with industry leaders in various regions and markets, also in different size of the company. So the question was basically what best describes the primary strategy behind your organization's drive towards digital transformation. And that they had a couple of options to select from, and that were categorized into these categories that you see. So the respondents stated that the digital transformation goals were focused in three areas. We had cost and efficiency to the left side. We have growth as one option, and quality and experience as another one. And the result was nearly even. So that demonstrates the broad applicability of digital transformation effort. If we take a look at what drivers we can have related to cost and efficiency, that could, for example, be improving the reliability and performance of machines, equipment, and other industrial assets as one goal, one drive force for that. Or it could be improving service team metrics, including first-time fix rate and asset downtime. When it comes to growth, We could focus on reducing the amount of time to get new and existing products to our customers, or introduce a new business model and form an alternative method for driving new revenue streams, such as product as a service. On the experience side, there could be drivers like reducing defects in the field or recalls, or maybe have more reliable, responsive, and empathetic service operations in general. There's also clear indicators stating that by focusing on cost and efficiency initially, it's easier to grow that into the other two, growth and experience. But digital transformation can really affect all of these areas. Strategy and goals is of course one thing, but one other very important aspect of this is the vendor capabilities of providing you with the best technology. So in the same survey, PTC asked what vendor criteria is most important to you at your current stage of your digital transformation journey. And depending on what the customer stated that their current position in the digital transformation is, we got different responses. So if the customer stated that they are still in a planning phase, they are looking more into the vendor's pricing model or the security of the data and the vendor size and stability. But when they have targeting a piloting state, they're looking more into the technology and the experience from the vendor. Have they done this before, and is the technology proven? And in the final state, we are also looking beyond that. What happens next? So when we have started to roll out a new technology or taking steps on the digital transformations, then of course we would like to know what happens now. What can we do later on? So in the last step, we also focus a little bit more on the vendor being a thought leader and helping us taking additional or new steps. So that was more on the general level. I think it might be good now to just mention the digital thread, which is something we believe that everyone needs to embrace, as I mentioned before. And what the digital thread is really about is closing the loop between the digital and physical world and optimize the processes, people, and products in an efficient way. But in today's presentation, we will focus on ECAD, so on the left side of this picture, and how we can incorporate that into PLM that will enable the digital thread, basically. When we look at electronic design and what kind of challenges we have in there, we did a survey approximately 10 years ago about the top challenges that the designers see. And one of them was the complexity of the PCB data, and that's increasing from year to year. So more components, more complex components, more embedded systems, and so on. They also talk about integrating the PCB design with other design tools like mechanical or software. And the third one was exchanging data with different sites like third parties and more so. Talking with suppliers, vendors, customers, and exchanging that data in an efficient way. We believe that this is pretty much the case today as well in many companies. We also see that, we have solutions to fix this basically. So in many cases, this is still what you have. You have a PLM system where you're supposed to collect and define your products fully. So all product specific or product related information should be stored in one place. But many of us or many companies are still using ECAD or having ECAD as an isolated island where we try to manually connect the information with the rest of the thing by having spreadsheets and manual inputs into BOM lists or mailing information and so on. So what we would like to do is basically to put the ECAD into the same environment together with requirements and procurements and quality and so on. And to be completely honest, I think we have work to do in the other segments as well. I think we have come a long way when it comes to MCAD, and I believe that we should look at ECAD as equally important as MCAD. But when it comes to requirement, quality, and sourcing and procurement, we can still, on general level, improve how we work with that. So what is really the digital thread? If we look at what it's not, starting that end, we don't want to have a enterprise where the data is just sent to different disciplines without having any control. So you need to request, we send duplicate information, we're using emails and so on to share the information. So the digital thread is about bridging the gaps that the siloed system provide, basically. So we would like to provide functions for getting the information you need and make a better decision as fast as possible. And we eliminate the need for duplicate efforts and promote collaboration between departments. But a digital thread is also more than just connecting your enterprise. We also would like to connect with our suppliers and customers and maybe with the product itself. So a strategy for that is something we are looking for and striving for. So if we specifically look at the values of bringing ECAD and PLM together, there is some obvious values, like the right people working with the right versions of the right data, and that is easier to reuse data, and that we can drive an electrical E-bomb and fully define that. But we also could get benefits from having the traceability of the supply chain partners. We can see from which supplier we actually order a specific component. And we can also list what kind of vendors or suppliers that is approved. And when we select our components, we can use that. And maybe also drive some kind of cost control and analyze the cost in an early phase. Another important aspect of this is the compliance verification. So having access to compliance and in real time being sure that our product is compliant against the latest regulations, basically. So if we take a deeper dive into how to actually incorporating your electrical design into the digital thread, I will now talk about a couple of components that I think it's important to include and also mention the benefits of those. So the first one I think we should consider is the process. So to have a process of how we do things and standardize the way of working is crucial. So that could be driven from PLM directly or in some cases from your ECAD system. But having a standardized way of working is crucial. And if we can establish that, then we will eliminate redundant manual tasks, reduce errors, and ensure consistency of the results. And of course, improve connectivity and productivity by automating team assignment and communications. Another important aspect is the component management. So we can synchronize our data or our components between the two systems. So inside your ECAD, we can see information that is provided from PLM. And we could also, from the ECAD, generate the component itself. So we have the virtual representation of our physical parts in PLM. And when we have that, we could also associate information that is not necessarily generated by the designer. So we can add data sheets or supplier information and other information to to that specific part. On this picture, we can also see a workflow for creating new components. We can do that in a controlled way and include reviews and approving and rework in a structured and organized way. So the benefit of component management means that we can have an automated new part introduction process. So we control exactly how we create that and make sure that the persons that need to be involved is involved. We can have metadata synchronization, so you can define what data should be driven from the CAD side and what should be driven from the PLM side, and we can synchronize those. So we don't double define information. And also supplier information, approved vendors, and approved parts information that will increase or improve the quality of the operations. One other important aspect of incorporating your electrical design into PLM is that we can collect and gather the data that is generated from design. So that will automatically be associated to the part that I mentioned before. So your schematics and your layouts and other information will be connected to the part. So it will be easy to find and to review for everyone in the enterprise, basically. So we listed a few benefits of that as well. So that will shorten the product development time by enabling concurrent design process and eliminating manual entry methods and errors. It allows full product history and traceability and cross-product change impact evaluation. And then, of course, it provides real-time project lifecycle status to all extended team members. We can control the maturity of the design data within Windchill and have a full history tree and so on. So all the benefits that you already have in CAD, basically, or mechanical CAD. Further on, we have the automated BOM creation. I think I have mentioned it, but in the same way as you can build a structure in your mechanical CAD system, you're also building a structure in your ECAD environment. And that hierarchy can be reused, so we can achieve a full definition of a PCB, for example. And that will mean that we have all the data in one place. We can put the PCB in the right product, and we can see the context of that PCB in a simple way. So we have reliable information and accurate information that is delivered by a workflow in time where it's supposed to be delivered. So the benefits of automated BOM creation means that, obviously we can automate the engineering bill of material and ensure that everyone can see that structure and access the information. And other important aspect of incorporating your ECAD is that we can benefit from the visualization. So it's not only about metadata and information, it's also about the geometry itself, model-driven structure. So you can read the schematic, you can compare it with the layout and with 3D models. So if you have the ECAD, MCAD collaboration tools, there will be a cross-function references. So if I select a component on the mechanical level, it will highlight on the layout and so on. And that is accessible for everyone and can be used in reviewing, for example. So again, collaboration will increase. We can use this for validation and review. So everyone that has access to PLM or is a part of digital thread can see this information. The last one I will mention is the data accessibility. So once a design is reviewed and completed, we can send all this information with a push of a button to PLM. So we have everything in order, available directly from the part. So then we can create packages and send this, be fully comfortable that this is the latest and greatest information. So we have the traceability and all the information needed in one package. So the secure external collaboration can be defined with this. And it's automated, and visualization and information is also available for third parties, and we can also, with the digital thread, ensure that we can collect the feedback. So that was the main benefits of incorporating ECAD and PLM. I'm sure that you can be a little bit overwhelmed of all of this and have questions of where to start basically. So what we did was basically defining a process of how this has been achieved in the past. So this is a roadmap that we defined for a customer a couple of years ago, where we first started by ensuring that we have the parts, the virtual representation of the physical article. So definition of the engineering BOM basically. And when we have that in Windchill, we could also establish a change process. So having a control way of releasing data and collecting change-related information and deciding if a change should be conducted or not, and planning of the change. And that's also a good way of having the interface defined between different functions. So we can use the change process and the workflow associated to that in order to inform downstream users that something will happen on a part or design data. We also generated the PDF from the drawing. We start classifying components, so we could have different attributes for different parts. So depending on the class, we can find part-specific information. We added the supplier management in Windchill, so we can access and define supplier information. And then we start using the ECAD to MCAD collaboration, and we'll soon introduce the product compliance as well. And then we will continue from there. So it's soon time to define the next step on this roadmap. But of course, this brings a lot of value to our customers. So we ensure that we just have one single source of truth for the product data. It will reduce time to generate data packages, reduce cost, streamline the approval process, minimize duplicate parts, and ensure that we take better product decisions in the end. So pretty much the last thing I would like to mention is how to get started with this. What can we do? How can we help you? So from PDSVISION's perspective, we have and a consulting approach when it comes to this. So if you're interested in your journey, we can together define and pre-study and start analyzing the current state and compare it with your target state, define the gaps between those, and generate a roadmap that is relevant for you. And based on that, we define the business cases. So what's the drivers behind this? We start a concept and testing in small scale, and then we create a plan for how to roll this out on a broader scale. So just reach out to me or any of my colleagues if you would like to discuss this approach with us, basically. I think we can consider this webinar as an appetizer for the upcoming webinar, where we will be more specific and demonstrating how this could actually happen. So in the 26th of April, there's a webinar together with Perttu Korpola, where we'll talk about how to integrate Altium Designer with Windchill by using the Nexus capabilities. If you would like to connect with me, you can use the QR code, scan it now, and you will find my LinkedIn page. Feel free to connect and reach out if there's any questions. We also have a blog post that Perttu has written about this topic, so I could highly recommend you to read that. learn more about this specific topic. So that was pretty much everything from my side. So thank you for listening. And over to you, Kelna.
Thank you so much, everybody, for participating on today's webinar. And thank you, Jonas, for your time and great presentation. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, guys. Take care.